Welcome to the GLAC Studios oil painting tutorial. This is Gomuti Sivasankaran. We are in class 15 of the oil painting tutorial series. We have been painting along a 40 by 40 centimeter canvas, learning how to do a baby portrait, and we are coming close to completion. Let's see how far we go today. For our own understanding and recap, let's just look at what all we have journeyed together. We started with understanding some basics about oil painting, the tools that we use and how to use them in the canvas itself. We understood that. We went on to doing the first layer, and then we made something called golden ratio to align our expectations as to where we want the subject to be placed. And then we did much more into what is called blocking. So we blocked spaces to define where exactly we want our subject to be and other things around the subject to look like. And for blocking, we did not use much of colors. We did monotone. I used brown and a little bit of white wherever needed to show light and dark. And then we moved on to do the third layer, which was very similar to the second layer blocking methodology, but it was more into using the real colors. We also started learning blending there, merging colors, tonalities, and so on a little bit in the third layer. We did the fourth layer where we made very similar to the third layer, but then more of blending and less of the oil color. Then we finished our fourth layer last class, and we started with the fifth layer. Yeah, we are in the fifth layer. And for those who are thinking of how many layers should I go about, there's no end to it. We can always go on improvising again and again and making changes again and again. It's up to you the kind of depth you want to show, or the level of naturalism that you want to show. There is something called hyper naturalism, or hyper realistic, photorealistic approaches are also there, which are, I think, a little too much for if you are a beginner for now. So let's just attempt and stop at a line where we have a decent picture and it's looking like the original in some way. We are able to relate to it and has some logics that are checking off. All right, we have learned something through this experience. So that's why I think I will try to wrap up with the fifth layer, but it shouldn't stop you if you are someone who wants to go more and feels the need to do more. I would definitely encourage you to do that. So that's about a recap, and now we are ready to go on to the painting itself. As usual, the first step is to do some corrections, looking at the picture and seeing spaces for corrections. I am going to now try to share the screen so that we look deeper into the picture. I've always showed you the picture where it is. It's next to me all the time. And for the ones who are wondering where I could find it, the link is available in the description. So you can download this picture and start working on it from the class 1 if you are starting new. Right now, I'm going to share the screen so we can look a little deeper together and see if there is spaces for us to improve. There are sections that we need to do still in the layer 5 as well, isn't it? So it's good to check before we are ready to go. So I'm going to do a screen share. So we have the picture of the baby girl in the screen right now, and I'm just maximizing it for us to see some spaces where we could improve. So if you look at the real picture, There's a lot that we need to do with the hair. That's something I think we also know. When we do the fifth layer, we are going to work on some more details of the hair strands that you can see here, right here on her forehead, right in the front, coming close to her eyebrows. And we need to work on her eyebrows and eyelashes as well. If you see, we haven't done the eyelashes at all until now. So that's something we are going to work on today as well. So this is the detailed look that we are going to try to work on. Yeah, and see all these nuances. And it might not be possible for us to capture every single nuance, but look at those interesting angles. If you are able to achieve some of those angles, it's a good learning, isn't it? So take it like that, and maybe we might not have exact same number of hair strands or so depicted, but we can achieve some of it here in the fifth layer. So we could do that, and the eyebrows and the eyelashes today. So that's our main target. Yeah? And I had a feedback. So this is also something when you're working on a real picture of somebody that you know, it's always good to have a feedback as well from the person, or from somebody close to the person. Here we have a 6-month-old baby. I cannot get her feedback directly yet, but her parents have been kind enough to share the feedback. So I have been informed that the cheek can be a little more chubbier than what we have right now. So that's something that we can liberally go around making adjustments and making it slightly bigger than what is shown here in the picture. For some reason, the angle doesn't depict the real girl, the way her cheeks appear according to the parents. So that's something we can always work on. Otherwise, there's another thing. If you look at the length of the face that we have in our, at least in my canvas, that's a little longer than the length of the face here of the baby girl in this picture. And that's also because we are missing some more hair strands, and the head as such will be slightly dominating or bigger, and then the whole length comes down a bit in a way. So that's something that we will also look into while adjusting, correcting. Yeah. So this is what we are going to focus on for the fifth layer. And if we are done, we can come to some more details as well. We did not do much of the background the way it is here. We took outdoor background, but still, for our own outdoor background, there will be some more changes that we would love to do as well. So I guess we have quite a task at hand. And I think we are now ready to come back to, I'm going to stop the screen share. So we come back to the regular, and you have me and the picture of the baby girl, the painting of the baby girl with me. So that's where we are. So we know what our plan is for today, isn't it? So let's roll into that. I have my very own brush number 1. I'm not using too many brushes today because the detail that I'm going to work on is going to be minute. So I would not need a bigger brush. Yeah, so that's something to think about. And another thing is that I need to be mindful. My canvas is still wet from last class. So if you are also at this stage and you have a wet canvas on some side for some reason, just be careful of that, I will suggest that you, if you're not confident, wait for it to dry and then move on. That's a good idea. If not, there is also another approach to this. Professionals do have more techniques. They have scales running around and so on. I have a old wooden scale like this that I could place right here. If you see where I'm placing, okay, okay, I will just move the camera up and down for you to see how it is placed upward. So I have placed it a little bit away from the body of my canvas so I can rest my hand on this and paint. This is what I have done. So I will just bring it down again for us to focus on the baby girl's face. So this is a way you can work on if you want to rest your hand somewhere. Yeah. For me, I am used to not having this and having my hand a little away and paint. I can manage fine. But if I do feel the need, I always take this, and I do suggest my students also to use something like this to work on a wet canvas. But in spite of all this, if you are concerned that it will be damaged if I go on painting and put my hand around in wrong places, then it's a good idea to stop and wait for it fully oxidize or dry before you are ready to get started. Yeah. So that's one thing. We are now, yes, the challenge is to start working on the beautiful hair. It's always an interesting spot to work on. Guess why? Because we have a very challenging hair style to work on. I have my old paint, the black is with me, and I'm just checking on that if it's working. It is fine. It's not dry from yesterday's recording, so that's fine. I take Van Dyke brown. So I had taken ivory black and Van Dyke brown. If you are having, let's say, burnt umber, burnt sienna, that's also fine. Why are we mixing brown to the black? It's because this ivory black is not close to the black hair of the people that you might see, and this I am talking because I have a black hair, and to know your own hair color, most of the ones that have black hair, if you come closer, you will see that the hair is slightly browny black and it's not fully deep black. It's one notch down to that black that you see in this. That's what I feel, and that's exactly why I'm trying to mix a slight bit of Van Dyke brown here to this black to get ready. Okay, let's go now over the. Where do we start? Do we start with the left side of us and the right side of the baby girl? Okay, that's where we start. And I'm going to go over the sections where I might have done it. I'm trying to thicken the areas where there could be more strands and the highlights. I'm doing that. And now I am ready to work on more of the hair strands that are on the face of the baby girl. Sorry, on the face of the baby girl. Mhm. So these are the hair strands that we did not do. For want of space to focus on the face's texture and the color, we did not do much of this. So we are going to do that. And I'm looking at more of the hairs falling on the eyebrow of the baby girl. So we are looking at where is it coming from, the whole patch of it. And just see if it is good enough. Some more cross strokes here that I noticed. So I'm doing that. Yes, we have got that. So I'm now going on doing the same thing, but the hair that is going in the opposite direction on towards the face or the forehead of the baby girl. That's one. We did this one. One more. So these were the things that we did not do much last time. Okay, I'm coming to the other side, the right side of our canvas, the left side of the baby girl's hair. I am more focused on what is coming on the face, the hair strands coming on the face and something close to that. So I'm trying to do justice to that as much as possible. Okay. That's a lot of hair strands, isn't it? You know, going crisscross. Okay. That's where we are. When I do the once the hair strand near the ears, I'm also checking to see if it is because the hair is hiding a bit of the ear, which I did not focus much on the last time, so I'm trying to do that. Yeah. Yes, we have that. Okay, I'm looking at the overall adjustments right in the front, the forehead still, and I'm seeing that it's satisfactory. The key lines that I wanted are there. Okay, I guess that's there. So now let's look at the section that is behind. Yeah. So right now I'm going to focus on the right ear, the hair on top of the right ear of the baby girl, and I'm looking at the bulge here where Okay, I think I got the bulge. We did put some hair strands going away, kicking out. Uh, she's been playing, yes. Oh. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. Now remember we said that there are two rubber bands or hair bands or whatever clips that are pulling the hair. So we are, if you are wondering why to do so many pieces, why do we need to do all this? It's already, can I call it finished? Yes, you can. The logic is to paint a hair, and especially what you learn from pictures like these is that um, the strands of hair get pulled along by the tension created, by substances like a clip or a band or such, and then because of the girl child playing around and so on, could have caused another angle of tension. So these are interesting substances and nuances to focus on. So um, maybe this might sound trivial, but this is giving you one level of practice to look at how tensions are created by objects on certain subjects could impact. And this is also coming as a subject for us to think of when we talk about the tension created on the shirt of the baby girl by her movement. Yeah. So these are small little things, but they do matter in terms of learning for us. Yeah. So try to take it as a learning and see if you can capture some of it, if not all of it. This is where we start to learn. Yeah. So now I'm moving to the center portion. I think we've got all this hair strands running around that's depicted properly. I wanted the color tonality to increase slightly, so I'm just going to add, because I used more of brown last time. I wanted to deliberately so that it's easy for us to highlight with black in the places. And even this black is not the ivory black. I have balanced it slightly with the Van Dyke brown. Okay. So we have got that, and I'm coming over to the right side of our canvas or the left side of the baby girl's face, and I'm doing the same thing, throwing angles. Sometimes when you're too close to the picture, it's also hard to see what exactly is going on. But if you put yourself in a distance, you get a perspective of where things are going. So keep doing that. I am used to thinking in perspectives. So for me, it's okay that I'm a little close, but still, at times I do need to step back. So I do that once in a while. Okay. I guess we have it all. Yeah. If not all, have somewhat, pulled in the hair strands the way she has pulled in. Okay, let's go over the eyebrows now. Yeah. So considering this is hidden, this eyebrow is hidden much. Just checking if it is hidden enough. I think the effect of it is okay. Over here, slightly, I'm making it not too thick, but slightly thicker. Yes. So I've got that. Fair enough. And now we have to work on the eyelashes. Just be careful where you want to place the eyelashes. I am starting with ones close to the eye. They are not too thick. Remember, for children, sometimes they can be thick also. In this case, they are not too thick, but they are, so to say, sharp for her. Okay. Can we do the eyelash on the left eye or the right side of our painting? It's going a little away. It is a big. So very slight movements, not too much. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I have it. And now the eye itself, I'm taking the total eye very black now, because right in the middle of the eyeball, I want it to be even stronger. So I'm just making it a little darker here in the center. Because it's not to be seen by naked eyes, but when you have, just like the way we did, expand and view in a computer or a laptop or any device, you can see that detail, that it's the pupil, how it is. So I want to do that. I did that. And the edge of it is also slightly dark in some places. These are minute changes, I tell you, but they do make a large difference. They do. Yes. So we have done that now. It's been a lot, but still, I am so far okay with the changes. And just think of it. Is this a spot where you want to say stop to the hair changes or not? For me, it looks like almost okay. I'm still trying to make minute shifts here and there, but otherwise I'm not doing bigger changes as such. I just noticed few more tiny hair strands that can be shown. And for these tiny hair strands, if you are not comfortable using brush number 1, you want to go to 0 or something, you can do. If you are interested in showing these nice hair strands, that are flying around. Yeah, I've got it here. Okay, that looks fair enough. I'm seeing if I have any other space where I need to work on for the black or brown. For now, it looks good. I guess I will move on, yeah, to the next part of making changes, layer 5. So if you look at the layer 5, it's more of adding on, giving the reality touch as much as possible. And the next layers, if you are going to do layers 6, 7, 8, and 10, whatever, so you're going to go into the nuances of the realism. So trying to do more of that, small little lines and small little tweakings that will go and enhance and bring in the reality. Yeah, that's something that you would try to do if you want to go on. Yeah. Remember, I had this feedback that the face can be a little more chubby than what we have right now, because that's how the girl is. As compared to this picture, I'm going to go a little over to make it again chubbier. So I'm taking, like last time, yellow ochre. That's what we did. We took yellow ochre, crimson, blended that in and added white to lighten it up. So I'm taking a bit of white, blending it in. I guess I have the color that I need. And it helps because the way I keep it, I keep the old palette. Even if it is dry all over, I use that. And that helps me kind of look into the similar tonalities that I have created, just to be sure before I go into the picture as such. So I'm just going to make it slightly chubbier. Highlighting here. I guess people who were wanting it to be chubby will be very happy with this decision. Okay. So when you make such adjustments in correlation or in consultation with your customer, client, or friend, be sure, okay, so you have done something, you waited for it to dry, or at least slightly before you have shared the picture and taken feedback, and then you're adjusting. So definitely, even though we have got almost the same color, it will look like you have added on something. And that's just because that we have applied it just now, and the flow of blending is missing, isn't it? So we blended. What did we do? Did we just go on applying? No, we blended as we applied. We were blending with the finger, with so many things like earbuds or so. We are blending all along. So this, if it's not blended, what will happen? It will look like it's separate. So it's going to look separate. Let's see how we are going to adjust. So I made it slightly chubbier, and here the chin, I want it to be even shorter. So the face length also is slightly covered. So that's here where it's ending. Okay. So what am I going to do? Blend in with my finger slightly. It won't blend because the other portion of it is dry. Remember, what did I use here? I used slightly tinge of crimson in my finger to blend this color in, isn't it? So I'm going to do that. Blend it in. On this cheek, yeah. But this one, was it crimson? No, it was, we were catching the light, isn't it? So we had a lighter shade. So touch of white, I will do that, blend it in here. So remember what you blended it together with. How did you blend it last time? And that really tells you how you're going to do it now. Just seeing if the size is good enough. Minute tweaks. Yeah. So I guess I did that. Here, that is fine. That is fine. Okay. So I think we will, when I get to speak with my friend, I will get to see how things are again, and I will take feedback. So this is how I have adjusted. Okay. Base is the requirement. It's not if it's not needed for you for practice, no, it's okay. Fine. You need not do this, but just for you to understand how do you when you work on private art commissions, especially on portraits of some of their dear ones or family members they are gifting it to, or so, it's more important that we work closely with them. This is something very important for artists who are working on private art commissions, because end of the day the business goes because of your customer and what he or she really is expecting out of it, and especially the picture of the person that they are so close to, they would know more in certain angles. So do take their feedback, and it will always help you adjust things around. And do not panic about the changes needed. I have had experiences of having worked 5-6 hours and having to just rip off everything because it was not to the expectation of my customer. Of course, it could be heartbreaking, but this is where you try to understand what exactly the customer's needs is. Yeah. Okay. So I guess this is fine for now. I'm going to go into the yellow section. Yeah. Because from the toy, there was only one adjustment that I wanted to make, and now I'll have to pull that camera down for you, so we focus on more on the toy. the space here, I'm not convinced with the yellow that I made. So I think I need a little more of that yellow to adjust before I proceed with the lighter shading, my fifth layer all along. So I'm going to take a bit of yellow. I have permanent yellow. You can use lemon yellow, whatever you have been working on, and take a bit of that. I don't need that much. Maybe I took too much. I need white to blend in a bit. Why? You must know by now. Yellow is translucent, so I want it to be, and especially where I'm going to adjust in the sense that I'm going to do a hiding of this particular area. So I'm preferring this to be slightly blended with white, so it's easier for me to do this section. We wanted it to be slightly darker as well. I'm not worried too much about that now because it is still translucent and the previous color is showing to make it look slightly different. And if needed, I will add a tiny bit of black. I'm going all over because I want it to be uniform in the areas where the yellow is. I'm not going on the top layer of the toy, which is, for me, it looks satisfactory for now, so I'm not going into that. Now that I have white on top of it, it's easier for me to apply a little more of the yellow. So it does look slightly different from what we have on the upper side. Okay, let's make it slightly darker now. And to make it dark, I think last time we used black or brown, maybe. And I'm thinking of doing something similar, but just be careful. Black would just turn everything around upside down. So I'm just taking only the tip of my brush to black and slightly blending it in, so it's still not dominating, but it's a tinge looking darker, like it's underneath, someplace. I guess it is fair enough for now. All right, so we are done with that, and now we are going to do some more white highlights. Some more white highlights. Why are these white highlights? These are shiny highlights that you want to do. Let's get started with some of them, and then we will continue with it if we are not able to manage in this class. And next class, I can see that we will complete the picture as such. So I'm going to take, I have wiped my brush clean. I'm taking oil, linseed oil, and taking a drop of it. You can see here, drop of it, and adding slightly the white. So I want it to be light, fluid. So it's fluid, just be careful. It's fluid. You don't want too much in your brush to flow around. It is fluid. You wanted created this highlight. Where exactly am I placing? We started with the toy now, isn't it? So let's go on the toy. And the places where it's catching light, I'm going to do the streaks. slightly, making it stronger. And again, I'm thinking a little more stronger than what you see here in the picture, maybe, because, yes, we have placed the whole scenario outdoor, isn't it? So I want to show that lighting effect of it. So it's more brighter than what you would see here in the picture. So I'm creating that impression that there is something here. Yeah. White on the yellow as well. We did have some streaks of white here that I see. I take advantage of the lighting on the toy in the picture as well, and I try to extrapolate it a bit to show this, bright spot that we are in. Yeah? There you go. Even in the pink area, I think we did slight highlights last time when we were working on it. I'm just going to go overboard a bit. And remember, if you think you have made too much of white that you want to adjust, you can always rub it off or use a earbud or something to make it, tone it down if you want. But for me, I think I'm okay with this tonality now. I want this effect to show. Okay, so that's where it is. So that's how we did the toy. Could we do the highlight on the baby girl's hair as well? Because we did the hair, it's black. Just be mindful, it's going to cover. So I'm not going to go too much. I have some sections I think we covered fair enough in the last session, and it still shows for me. If it doesn't for you, you can go around doing it. So I did the highlights here, and these highlights are fair enough for me. Want a streak here. A streak there. Yeah, not too much. Yep. Not too many streaks. I'm just saying this streak can be adjusted. I'm taking the black again because I think I did a little too much than I wanted. So I went and adjusted that. So I am fine with the streaks that I made there. Working on the chin again, highlighting the chin again. Because I think when we did this new adjustment, we went a little overboard here and it is not showing properly. We are missing the view of it or clarity of it. Yeah? So I did that. Yeah. Going back to wipe the brush, clean. If you feel like, I'm okay wiping off. If you feel like washing it, please do before you go back to the lighter tonalities. doing slightly more on the chin where it could be, you know, one notch lighter. That's fair enough now. Hmm. Highlight on the hand, the fingers. So look at the light wherever it's falling that we might have missed. So this finger, there's only one finger that catches the light because of the placing. There's not too much. And there is enough light on the shoulder, isn't it? So I would rather prefer to take a bit more of white in my finger, but let me do it the way with the brush. And I'm going over here, one more layer, and just, you know, highlighting these places. And remember, we have the patterns that we have made on the shirt. So if you're concerned that it will go away, you're hiding the pattern, do not worry. If you're taking little more of the oil, you will have the translucence and the shine of the oil to create the kind of white that you want to create to put on top of it. So if you rub it off, you can still see some of it. Yeah. So if you see over here, it's not too bright. The pattern is visible, but it's not too bright the way we have got it all along. So just to be sure, you know, you can try to smoothen it out and it becomes lighter also if you want in some places. It's up to you to do it the way you want. And then rub off some of it. Yeah. You see, I'm just rubbing off some of it. I'm doing the same kind of highlighting on the cheeks, so the places where the sunlight is just falling sharp on her cheeks, and I'm blending it in quickly. So these are spaces where one can see clearly the sunlight. Okay, then I move on to doing the same kind of adjustments on the cheek. Very close to the space where
the skin is, coming close to the ear, on the ear, and right on the very close to the eyelashes, the underneath the eyebrows, and also there is this very fine space in between the eye and the nose, and that space also catches a good amount of sunlight, and that's what we are trying to establish now. I'm trying to highlight it and also blend it around the nose, bringing it down to the cheek. Yeah, bringing it down. So that section is now highlighted. Okay, I move on to the cheek. Down to the chin. Slightly on the hand, not too much. So these are the final highlights. So just look for the shine in the picture. Then I'm working on the tip of the nose. It's a very subtle area, so just be sure not to overdo it. But it subtly highlights, catches the sunlight. There is this shine that I'm trying to establish on the nose, rim of the nose. Okay. Moving on, I also try to do the same thing on the upper lip or right underneath the nose. There's also a very subtle space that has this light catching. Okay. Manage that. On the left cheek, there isn't much of it. Just be careful. There isn't much of it. Very tiny bit. So try to establish that. On her forehead, even though the forehead is partly covered by her hat, there is still some subtle areas that are highlighted. So I've tried to establish that, and moving on, checking this same lines if it is in good alignment. Looks like fair enough.
Let's just summarize what we have done so far. In this class, we started with the layer 5. Essentially, layer 5 meaning more of highlighting and more trying to give more of depth. That's what we tried to do, and we started working on the baby girl's hat first, because there was a lot of sections that we could have worked on in the previous layer as well, but we chose not to do it, especially because we wanted to work on the forehead with the skin tone first. So that's why we left that incomplete. So we did that most of it, and then we went on to focus on the eyebrow, the eye color a bit, and then we did the eyelashes as well. So we did all that, and then we moved on to make slight adjustments to the toy that I wanted to make here, and then we moved on doing highlights, white highlights on the toy. I went back to making white highlights on the face and the hand of the baby girl, and the hands a little bit as well. So that's what we have done in today's class. we are nearing completion. If I have to summarize what we could be doing in the next class, remember we did so many highlights on the face, um, uh, giving it the thought that there is sunlight catching so much. How could it be that such a bright sunlight is not catching on the grass? That's something basic, isn't it? So we do not have a reference here, but we did create our own. Even in your case, if you are using something as a reference for your own, think of the same kind of light angle catching on those spaces as well. So we are going to see how to do that. It might not take much of the time, but it's a simple logic that we want to show here and there. If you have already done it, that is fine. If not, it's also a good time to do that. We will do that, and we will make another review of corrections needed or so, and any other highlights missing or shading missing in the class 16. And finally, if everything goes well, then we look forward to signing off also. Yeah, so there is this space that I put up here, where I have put my left hand thumb impression, so you will get to see where I'm going to sign as well. So that's what is going to be 16th class. Looking forward to having you in the class. And if you have reached this far, congratulations. This is an amazing effort that you have done. I can relate to the challenges that you might have. Please do share any other thought processes of the struggle that you are feeling, and if I could help, it will be great. I would definitely love to help in any way possible, and if not, I'm not an expert, so we can always find help from other experts as well on how to do much more. So please do write, share your feedback, and also share the pictures of what you have been doing with us. This is going to be amazing to see how your picture is turned out as well. So, and do not feel demotivated if things are not going exactly the way you want. Um, Portraiture also takes times and patience, so it comes with time naturally. So if you are attempting for the first time, bravo, I would say awesome work already. So give it the time that it needs, and you will get there. And let's do more on layers as well, so to get there if you want. Thank you very much for holding on to these sessions for this long. And I hope to see you again in the next class. Have a nice day. Bye bye.